Thank you so much. I mean, I feel like Smax's reaction after that game was what we were all experiencing at that time. What a win coming out from Ginger Turmeric. And honestly, Eric, I think it was you who said it around the 12-minute mark that it was unwinnable from them. What? What just happened?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know what just happened there. All I'm saying is that EG really threw that, and it was crazy. That game seemed unwinnable at a certain point for Ginger, but then that really what happened was that play later on in the game that really uh, brought them ahead of the game, and then they just pretty much ended straight off of that. And I don't know, a little bit of a doozy, if I say so myself.
I feel like a doozy is a good way to be kind of framing that one up because it's definitely, a little bit of a different conversation than I thought we'd be having here on the desk. But I want to save, the good parts till later, the moment that changed it all. We're going to start from the beginning. We're going to talk about this draft that we see below us and just get both of your just thoughts, what kind of sticks out to you.
Well,
Okay.
Either or.
RM, I'll let you.
okay. I really don't think the draft was the issue, or really had much bearing on the game as the game kind of went on. But the draft itself was kind of interesting because do think Ginger Turmeric got all the comfort picks they wanted. Existence's signature Scion, Dual King got that Senna, which I was actually quite surprised by considering how well he's piloted it. DNA's signature Syndra as well. And for EGP, I thought they had a really solid draft. I mean, the Varus for Sketch has done amazingly well. They got their hands on it. I personally wasn't a huge fan of the Ornn for Faisal, though Faisal piloted really, really well. I just feel like when you've got a carry player like Faisal, give him a carry. In this particular game, would it have made a difference? I don't know, but maybe they could have closed the game out a little sooner, and then we wouldn't have hit the point, where EGP decides that we're going for Major League Baseball Hall of Fame throws.
Yeah, I don't know. Me and Arm were even talking about that at one point. We were talking about how if it got to a certain point that Turmeric could come back, and it seemed like almost they reached that point and they just had that game turning moment. They pushed him through that moon door and then they took that Nexus.
Yeah, it's definitely the longer it went on, it just kind of opened up that window. But starting from the beginning, and our very first replay, Eric, if you want to talk us through stuff that started giving EG Prodigies their little bit of a lead, well, almost say a little bit of a lead, giving them their dominant performance up until the end.
Yes, it's at this play here that I really thought that EG got pretty ahead. You're gonna see here how City Witty kind of gets caught. They don't have priority mid lane, and Leo actually secures that kill right there. But I think that really what this play is it gives, although Lagrange did get those kills, Leo really got a lead from that lane, or from that play, and it kind of set him up success in his lane against Syndra. Because once Ryze starts getting some MR items, starts ramping up, I think that it becomes hard for Syndra to kind of match up and keep pace with him.
Yeah, well, continuing on our train of EG doing really strong things in our match, I think that's also a clip number 2, RMC, if you want to be talking us through that. I believe it was the dragon fight.
Yeah, it was a little bit after that particular dragon fight. So the clip that we are going to be talking about, we'll look at the bot lane. But before we go there, I do want to touch on the fact that, hey, Leo got ahead with that particular play. Perry got ahead with that particular play. So they were already winning mid and jungle. And then this happens bot side where Sketch and Daption, I had to double check this because this happens after the mid lane dive. This is a 2v2 sort of scenario, and they're just diving under the turret with not a care in the world. And you see that Fortune Turmeric, they're calling in backup here, but it comes in late. So ultimately, it's a 2v2 followed by another 2v2. And not only do EGP get 2 kills, they don't die in exchange. Only Daption goes down here. Sketch actually gets out. And then suddenly, with the lead they get all across the bottom side of the map, they just take over the game. And this was kind of the point where Eric and I were going, okay, this isn't really winnable from Ginger Turmeric. The only way they come back in is if maybe EG Prodigies kind of throw a little bit, and well, the rest is history.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, that is our last clip. The disastrous moment where everything went wrong for EG and, or Ginger Turmeric. That was their light. That was their little moment of opportunity here, Eric.
Yeah, it was really crazy just seeing this fight play out because I thought at this point it was kind of unwinnable for Turmeric. But then I really want to like look at Legrain. Legrain I think played this fight like really well. He was landing his abilities, he was positioning, and I think that ultimately once you know once they didn't really pull off the initial engage and get as much as they wanted to, EG, um, they just took over that fight and then it let them just completely win the game.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, now the fact that Ginger Turmeric was able to grab that win, though they took an opportunity, they obviously made a play off of it and they won off of that. But other than that, it did look like EG's game. Do you think then, RMC, going into game two, that if EG sticks to the same game plan and just doesn't make a mistake, that they should be able to take it to a match three?
Emphatically, yes. And I feel like we're ragging on EGP pretty hard here, but at least for myself, I am this harsh in a way because I'm very upset considering how they played it out. It was a perfect game up to that point, right? And it just feels so shocking, and it's a whiplash from like, oh, we lose one big fight and suddenly we just lost control of the game. I think EG Prodigies have the right game plan here. They played it incredibly well in the early game. If anything else, maybe pick up the pace a little bit. I think they slowed down in the mid game, and that was where things started to go wrong. Was down a little bit. They felt like they lost momentum. But if you just keep up that pressure, I think EGP, they don't really need to change their game plan whatsoever. It's just one mistake. You know what? Reset mental, move on. You're good to go.
Well, we'll see if they can keep the mental intact and take this series into a match three. I know that we're all expecting that this is going to be going right until the bitter end. Bitter for one of the teams, of course, getting knocked out now. You're not making it to playoffs, but playoff hopes alive for one. We're going to be throwing it over to our casters, Desrex and Smacks, for match number two.
Don't throw it back to me. Don't throw it back. No, I don't want to talk after that game one. That was too intense. I'm still recovering from what happened, but if you have to, welcome back to the casting desk. That game number one was insane, Smacks. I mean, it was just one mistake, right? One mistake is all it took, but that is how good Ginger Turmeric are at exploiting any misstep you take.
Yeah, that was so impressive for Ginger Turmeric to turn that one around. I'm still reeling on how insane it truly was. This EG was just so ahead. I was talking in that game. You could probably make a compilation of all the times I was like, oh yeah, EG just won this game. And you could play like some clown music over it and call me dumb. But it's true, because EG really were that far ahead. They should have definitely won that game. I think RMC put it very nicely when he's just said, I'm just upset.
I'm just upset. Yeah, we heard it from the analyst desk that even they thought it was unwinnable for Ginger Turmeric. But hey, DNA, it shows you why he's so comfortable on that Syndra. Even in the late game, he still had at least crowd control impact that really enabled Legrain, of all, to stay into that back line, to not be threatened, to land those mystic shots, to get the damage necessary, because goodness gracious, it looked hopeless, and then suddenly we have a Ginger win.
Yeah, they really snatched that victory out of the jaws of defeat. That was absolutely awesome for Ginger Turmeric, and now they're at match point of making it into that playoffs. I'm really excited for this team, and I hope that Evil Genius's Prodigies can bounce back from that one, because one of the main reasons that I'm upset is because I know that the players feel that same level of upset after a game like that. I know that all they want to do right now is just get back out there and make sure that that single mistake doesn't just lose them their chances of getting into playoffs. I know the competitive drive is definitely there for these young players, and you can see that they're just getting right back into things with the draft, going right back to banning out all the bot laners.
Ban out all the marksmen once again. That is the agreement between these two squads. That being said, and especially with the last game that we saw unfold, I gotta agree with Random Minion Caster. Like, I don't see any flaws coming out of the draft of EGP. I just feel like it was one simple misplay. I still think this is EGP flavored. Excuse me, favored. EGP flavor would be absolutely immaculate. Someone go ahead and make that one as an energy drink or something, but no. The favoring going over to EGP.
They've got a lot of beverage sponsors. I'm sure
I
someone.
mean, we got
could,
Ginger Turmeric right here with the beverage. This is why this is happening.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure if we get some Evil Geniuses interview at the end of this one, then they can list off their beverage sponsors, and we can pester one of them into making an Evil Geniuses flavored drink.
I'm just saying that logo would
Ooh.
look good on a can. Whoa.
True. Varus first pick.
Interesting. So this is really the sketch. You are going to season 1. You're not allowed to play anything that is recent within the next 6 seasons, 7 seasons. Man,
Oh,
the
man.
focus onto him.
Yeah, I really appreciate the denial there. Legraine's stealing that one away. This is a champion that he played in the last match that Ginger Turmeric did, fight against the IMT AoE team. So it's not outside of his wheelhouse, but still the insistence on denying that champion away from Sketch is just so funny. As we're getting Leo stealing away the Syndra in a very similar vein. This is stealing away DNA's most comfortable champion.
Yeah, interesting move. You take one from me, I'll take one right back. So trade going on. Varus on the side of Ginger, Syndra on the side of EGP. The marksman for Sketch this time. Jin was left open. Be picked up for EGP.
Much less DPS focused, more utility, more range, and a lot of scaling. This champion does have DPS once it gets really late game. But we can't really fully count on that one. It's best used as this ranged utility for the rest of the squad, and you really want to pack this team with their damage source. Something like a Hecarim would work super well for parry and something like this because you have a lot of pick potential and from long range away as well with Scout of the Week and Deadly Flourish.
Yeah, this pick potential coming out of Ginger Turmeric now. Answering the one that we're seeing out of EGP, you have a long-range poke, both with the Lux and the Varus, but the pick potential of both the Chain of Corruptions and the Lucent Singularity works very similar to what we have with the Scout of the Week and Syndra, but the support role is very much in the clouds now as Nautilus gets locked in. Lux went somewhere else.
It's almost certainly mid. Oh, don't play with my heartstrings like that with the Talia. Yeah, no chance. The Tom Kench makes a lot of sense. I really like that pick here. You keep Sketch really safe on that Jin or whoever, honestly, and you have a pretty easy matchup into the Nautilus as well. I like that champion quite a lot in this position. The Lux mid is super curious. So you have some burst damage right there. Again, the pick potential, like you just highlighted, is really big. And DNA, if Syndra is his champion, then he knows the counters to it in and out. So I hope that he knows what he's doing against Syndra because Leo also very good at this.
Yeah, that makes this makes this a very interesting draft already. Don't really know how this is going to shape up now as taking stock of what's been picked up by Ginger. They grabbed their marksman, they've grabbed their mid, they've grabbed their support. So the bottom half of the map, save the jungle role and top role for the second stage. And while they have great engage with the Nautilus, he's not exactly the most tanky champion when he's in that support role, so we get to see more frontline build up from Ginger.
They've got that Tom Kench, so it's not nothing so far, but yeah, I definitely agree. You're expecting Perry to have a champion that deals a lot of damage, or Faisal as well, as he has been known to deal a lot of damage with his top lane counter picks. Ornn off the board, though, means that if Existence does want to go for that Scion again, the same counter pick won't be available for Faisal this time around. Gwen's already gone too, so the Malphite, I mean, that's another tank, so we're not really expecting that the tank to come through for Faisal. There's that Hecarim that I wanted, though. Hey, big brain.
Yeah. All right, Hecarim getting locked in, push the momentum for EGP. Having that, we've seen what it's been doing pretty much all day. This Hecarim is quite the menace in the hands of, over what we saw with the Winthrop Bogged game, how it can just really get through defenses, really start diving. It will be pretty nice considering how many long-range champions you have for Ginger Turmeric who are looking to stay safe behind that backline.
So this Trundle which would otherwise be very boring, knowing that Ginger Turmeric plays this top lane is really curious for the next 30 seconds until they lock in their last champion. I feel like Existence mostly picks this into Gwen, so the fact that Gwen is not available means that it is jungle, and it is. So it is a blind Jace for him. There was a little bit of a spice there for a little tiny amount of time, considering who on this team typically plays the Trundle, as Faisal seems to be locking in Camille.
So finally shaping in our teams, the response out of Faisal, as you just said, is the Camille. So get someone who's a little bit known as a side lane queen over on that end, as well as adding towards that pick potential that we had earlier. Scattered Lead Ultimatum can do that as well.
Definitely. You have a lot of setup for the Hecarim too. Hecarim is going to have a really nice time. I'm excited for Perry, considering the performance that we just saw from this player on the Volibear in the last game. I think this is going to be a nice bit of comfort for him, because you do have a lot of time to just farm up on this champion for Hecarim, but considering just how creative he got with his pathing and the fact that we are on that red side again, so he can show us what else he's got in store for these paths from the jungle position, I'm really excited for Perry again.
Yeah, in that game one, Perry was phenomenal. He read City Witty like a book, so that was definitely fun to see. Now, with this new draft locked in for Ginger, man, the poke that you're seeing out of Ginger Turmeric, you know, the Jace, Varus, and Lux all locked in on their side to try and really make these sieges hard to handle for EGP. Any defenses they try and do hard to handle, softening them up before anything really does break out.
Ginger don't really have a lot of ways to finish people off after they have been poked out, though. They have the crowd control there from Nautilus, but they don't really have a melee champion that can act as a cleanup crew. Trundle not really fulfilling that role. Maybe we can see something like a Trinity Force. I wouldn't really expect it from City. This, honestly, all in all, feels like a draft that you would see those 4 champions and then City Witty's Kha'Zix or something like that, because then you have the cleanup assassin on the squad. But for Ginger, they need to make those picks actually land, because they don't have that available on this team composition. You need to 100 to 0 somebody, and likely just one person at a time with the way this draft played out.
With the Trundle pick, if you do get those deep dives that Perry will be looking to do with the Onslaught Shadows, you can make Perry just paper thin afterwards and try and take him out in a very timely manner. But another big thing about this Trundle is the Pillar. It slows down Perry to negate a lot of the damage he gets from his ramping up charge. So there's a lot of ways you can play this Trundle to try and handle what Perry's going to bring.
Trundle is, like I said before, it's ever so slightly boring, because it doesn't do a lot, but when it does do stuff, it's effective. I think we can agree on that one. You know, it's not flashy, but it is effective sometimes. And at the end of the day, for League of Legends, effective is just flashy enough by itself, because then you get the win. And that's City Witty's main goal in this one. They're one win away from taking Evil Genius's Prodigies outside of the realm of playoffs and knocking them down a peg, not even qualifying for that one from this point on. But if we know anything about Group Banger, EGP is probably going to win this game.
It's going to 3. I definitely feel this going to 3. Every game, again, the stat, every game in Group B has gone to 3 games. We did just get that broken on the other side with Group A, though. They had every game going to 2 games, and they went to a series. Maybe this is the curse right here, Smacks.
Ooh, we're breaking combos on the stream today. Hopefully not for Evil Genius's Prodigies. They would really like to stay in this tournament and get as many Proving Grounds points as possible. They also are definitely just a well-known brand in the space. Evil Genius's Prodigies has been a team that's been super, super successful in the past year of all Proving Grounds. And I know this is a completely new team in terms of players. The staff is very similar. And I know that in the end, the Evil Genius's staff and players are all attempting to reach greatness. And after what we just saw in that last game, I honestly believe that they are getting very, very close to reaching their goals. Just going to have to see if they can keep that going right now, or if they're going to have to wait a while before Proving Grounds main event actually starts.
It is development, you know, the goal of Evil Genius's Prodigies. it's really nice when you see these teams field completely different rosters, and a lot of those players that you saw from the previous roster move on up to academy, move on up to pro.
Absolutely.
EGP's most famous prospect, of course, was Jojo Pyun, who got to move on up and at a rapid pace. So taking a look at this, Ginger going for invade onto Perry. Perry spotting it out. Will concede part of his jungle, but City Witty is trying to return a little bit of the favor that happened earlier. But the thing is, more backup has arrived. Faisal shows up, kicks City out of the jungle of Perry. No first blood to be have, but already looking to slug it out.
That is the steal successful for City Witty, though, in the end. And no ghost here for Perry. Oh my god, City. This is adventurous right now, man. I don't know if this is going to work out. Yeah, you can see, even though he doesn't have vision over there, he's just going to back away, realizing, yeah, I don't really know. Maybe actually I will go for this. Maybe it's time.
You really? Oh, you already got DNA pre-positioned. He can respond fast. Leo, I don't think he's caught on to what's going. Now Perry has caught on. City, if you don't get this is a big waste of time. Gotta get it. He's getting a couple of shots coming in for the red buff. This is a weird standoff going on right now. Eyes on the far end. Scatter the Weak goes out. City's walking out. City's walking out. So much time spent there. He's not going to get the red.
Oh, he might get a reset. It's on one last bit of patience. I think Perry's got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of a waste of time in the end for City Witty. Just keeping tension alive, though. And Evil Genius's Prodigies, they are on their toes. That is the effect of this one. While you don't actually steal away the buff, delays Perry and, you know, just make sure that he's in a little bit of an uncomfortable position. It's not nothing that he just gained.
But now Perry is the one invading the jungle, realizing how much time City Witty spent there. All his camps have to be up. He has to have every single thing he needs to clear out. So this is a nice punish coming out from Perry, denying Raptor camp.
Yeah, super smart there. He takes away those raptors and he backs away, knowing that there is a possibility that Ginger Turmeric could be collapsing on him if he stays for yet another camp. He's 100% right on that one as well. Legrain comes and wards that brush, making sure that he's ousted the Hecarim from their own realm, taking away the Scuttle Crab, the Raptors, and City Witty fully delayed. He won't go for anything on that side of the map. This is very creative for City. If he can get this one off, it's going to be quite deadly.
Hook shot from Faisal is going to pop it.
Nice.
The pillar trying to stop the hook shot on the pillar. A little bit too late on the back end. It does get the flash out of Faisal, so mission accomplished out of City.
Yeah, that was really good. And Existence keeps his flash too. This is a lot of pressure gained for Faisal. For Faisal's sake, you know, you're keeping Existence with all this priority and this huge lead on Jace. It's at the detriment of City Witty's own farm, and that red buff is still alive. Usually that camp that you start on Trundle, waiting quite a while to take that one, will finally go and achieve that. Where one door closes, a window opens, and while Faisal has been put behind, Harry is rampaging through his camps and has a huge lead.
A massive one at that, and City is just barely killing out his golems on the bot side. I believe that was the first spawn of them. Perry is getting the second spawn, so it just shows you how far behind City really is if you didn't look at the numbers alone.
Perry's gonna have a lot of experience here too, and his ghost is coming up as well. It's been a while since that level 1 fight here, where he did decide to pop that one, getting all the damage off in the exchange. Has it now and is waiting in this top side brush. I wonder if this gank will actually come through. He's definitely thinking about it, canceling the recall even. Oh, he's on a ward.
Is spotted out as he goes through the alcove. Unlucky to say the least, but smart out of Existence, recognizing that play had potential. Now can just bide his time clearing out waves. You can tell Perry's really itching for this one. He really wants to dive in on it. No level 6s for Faisal and Perry, however, but so much time spent over on this top side. Ginger Turmeric are going to make a play on the bot and grab the Drake.
Nice bit of pressure and acknowledgement from City Witty, seeing that, just as you said, Perry's spending a lot of time topside. So taking away the Drake for free is really, really solid way for City Witty to remain relevant in this game despite being down quite heavily. It's an engaged attempt.
There's the tongue coming out, quick slow on the Duo King. That Devour, hilarious to see. Either way it's used, it's such a pivotal tool. Hovering around the river, Perry and Leo really trying to scope out this bottom side. Make Legrain get punished for stealing away the champion pool of Sketch.
And even though Sketch isn't really on a traditional carry champion in this bottom lane, he does still demand attention around the Rift throughout the entire game. Sketch is that player. He will carry when given the resources and when given the time. Is the nature of his role. The scaling element of Marksman is always present, and even more so when you have such a skilled player on your team. Evil Genius' Prodigies know that, so giving him this Jhin, it's a lot of utility, but it's a lot of agency later too.
It's kind of funny. You were mentioning earlier that DNA would know how to play against his own champion. What you're really seeing is that in the bottom lane, Sketch knowing how to play against the Varus.
Yeah.
He is able to isolate him. Quite the CS. Now here comes the engage over onto the top side. Perry looking for the onslaught of Shadow's ultimatum. Goes out as the final spark. Right place, right time for DNA. Ginger Turmeric get that team fight win.
Oh, that is absolutely filthy for DNA. The roam potential on the Lux is not something that you really think of all that often. But honestly, she's got a similar range to Twisted Fate. You just don't teleport in. You just have to hit the skill shot. And he hits it onto both of them. So much damage onto both of these guys. And it's there's so much going on. I don't even know if they saw it coming, but it lands nonetheless. First blood to DNA alongside a kill for existence. That's huge. That's me.
Hey, I know that guy. Smackside, how you doing? Yeah,
Hey, I didn't ask for a Twitter plug, but you know, I'll take it. Thanks.
So a strong start coming out from Ginger Turmeric, and another great thing about this Lux, the ult is a rather low cooldown, just going to be used to clear out the wave, get an easy reset for DNA. Wave shoved in, City Witty now posturing up towards this top side. Rift Herald available. Keep an eye for Perry as he's over on that end as well.
Ooh. All right. Perry, maybe feeling less confident up on this top side after that last play as DNA. The Lux ultimate is a very short cooldown, not quite so short that he's at risk of being hit by it again already. And because of this, Perry actually will start this up. Oh yeah, I know. It's a very, very short ability. It's going to be up very soon, but just not yet.
First to the punch, Perry onto the Rift Herald. Ginger Turmeric posturing around this end. Two members of EGP to at least go for the engage just yet. Now City Witty going forward. Final spark goes out, doesn't land on the Sketch. A double scatter the weak into the onslaught of Shadow. City Witty falls. DNA forced to flash away. EGP, they set the trap and Ginger take the bait.
Do get the Rift Herald at the same time also. Evil Genius is huge up on the play, and they don't actually continue fighting either. There was definitely a world where they continued going for that Daption, looking for a Tongue Lash onto DNA and making the call to continue, but they make the reserved play. They back out knowing that their tournament lives are on the line and knowing that they've done all this work to grow as a team to get to this point. You can see it paying off dividends right there in that decision alone.
Strong minion wave for Ginger Turmeric in this bottom lane at a time where we're just shy under a minute before the Hex Drake spawns. Recall will come out of Duo King. Looking at the teleports, they will be available quite soon. A good smack coming out of us. Oh my goodness. These final sparks are jump scare smacks. Faisal just able to dodge it, but barely.
Oh man, this is very, very mean of City Witty to keep progressing forward. Faisal gets his recall canceled, and this is going to be a lot of turret damage, potentially even the entire thing. The wave is big, and Trundle does deal a tremendous amount of damage to this. See if they can actually get it. That would be pretty big considering they don't even have the Rift Herald.
Where's my DNA cam? I need tabs on him at all times. He doesn't need to walk over to the lane to have an impact, to do damage. He has been roaming out very, very cheeky with these roams. And now, as he tries to do one right now, bumping into Leo, can't be as cheeky as he wanted to.
Got blue buff, he's got Lost Chapter, those ultimates are firing. Once he hits level 11, it's just got permanent uptime at this point. It's just his auto attack, Final Spark, 0-second cooldown.
Yeah, Zeri, but with Final Spark as the Q.
Yeah, it's like did you play any of the last TFT set?
I believe. Yeah, I did.
The Academy Lux with blue buff, just like perma-casting.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
That's DNA's goal in this game.
Fire away. That Lux, I mean, that Lux ult does get pretty low if you do focus onto the ability haste. It's kind of disgusting. I remember you could get it like sub 20 seconds on a certain season.
I think you can do that right now. I'm pretty sure.
Man.
If you have enough ability haste. I don't know if DNA is gonna go toward that. Perhaps full damage is better, but regardless, he used it on the wave less than a minute ago, and it's up again. So it's it's a good ability.
Ginger Turmeric trying to get this first brick on the top side. Parry waiting in that brush to save Faisal. City Witty has no clue at the moment. See if he got the spot out. I think he just pinged him right now, coming around that corner. Might have spotted out Parry, so play not going to be made. City Witty just going to retreat.
DNA was in position to, but Ginger just really trying to apply pressure so they can maybe take this turret. Again? Oh, this time it's EGP who's up here.
All right, EGP existence waited in that bush a little bit too long. Over the wall with the hook shot ultimatum. Not sure if the flash was the right choice right there, existence. He will take one more auto and parry, grabs the kill.
All in all, he did quite a bit of damage to Faisal, so he might have been able to assassinate that one, but no dice in the end. Rift Herald popped top, and they will avenge all those turret plates that were taken before. City Witty and DNA are here.
Healer goes out. Doesn't get the slow onto parry. Gonna pop that E. Movement speed, Duo King, depth charge onto Faisal. Hook shot to build distance. Ooh. Eats away before the final spark could register. Daption saving Faisal.
Good job from Daption as both supports roam up to that top lane to try to save the play, and Faisal survives just barely in the end. So look at this, City Witty, too far.
On the invade hook shot. Get Faisal in, but City Witty fed to the Wolves over the wall with the double loosened singularity. What can be found for Ginger Turmeric? Answer's going to be parry. Answer's going to be Daption. It sacrificed just City Witty in the process, as Ginger Turmeric still fight quite well as we start heading into the mid game.
Oh, and Ginger Turmeric, most crucially, finally get that red buff that they've been looking for 14 minutes. It's here. Existence finally has it. It's all hope is lost at this point. On a serious note, Ginger Turmeric are really turning it on right now. They've taken that top lane turret. They're finding all of these picks, and now DNA has a full loot in his name. Huge lead over Leo, and we talked about it a few times, but if you take away the Syndra here against DNA, you have to be ready for him to know exactly what to do to beat this champion. You know that he's so good at this. And for DNA, he really is showing that right now with a very unorthodox champion, Lux mid. Who would have known? This is the counter to Syndra, it looks like.
And we fully thought that was going to be in the support role for a moment.
Yeah.
Just a good little flex right there. As Sketch jumps in onto Lagrange, Deadly Flourish to get the snare, will be sidestepped. Now here comes the curtain call. Third shot lands, fourth shot gets flashed. Daption under the tower gets punished. Lagrange gets the kill, and Duo looking for a bit more. The minions are there. Sketch finds safety, but again, Lagrange getting that kill.
Evil Geniuses, they're looking for more plays again. They're still trying to keep Ginger Turmeric on their toes despite the lead that they have. He just can't quite manage it, though. Nice movement from Lagrange in the end right there, too. That was picturesque. He was skating around on this Varus. Very immobile champion, but you wouldn't know it from how well he played that.
Nice flash on the fourth shot. It was very much in his trajectory. Now he's rewarded with the kill, rewarded with a nice fancy back where he gets a serrated Dirk. And returns to lane to put that lethality. DNA, please, come on, man. Come on, you gotta stop just popping this off cooldown all the time. You let the man back. Just let the man take it back.
And it's halfway up again. Yep. That's where we're at. That's the League of Legends that we're playing right now. DNA, it's his world. We're just living in it. Ginger Turmeric, they've got a lot of pressure in this mid lane. They're looking for something. Wow.
Oh, an engage goes through. They find DNA. Chain of Corruptions doesn't do enough to protect the mid laner of Ginger Turmeric. Good pick coming out of EGP. Rewards them with priority over towards this dragon.
Evil Genius's Prodigies kill DNA in his own world. They can move over to this Drake right now. Parry's the only one. It's a bit risky for him. Rift Herald used in mid lane EG. Don't want to lose that mid lane turret, but I don't know if they have a choice. That one will deal a lot of damage to it, a hefty chunk. TP from Leo trying to get some priority onto this Drake, and Perry is very insistent upon taking it.
He's adamant on taking this. DNA shows up. EGP, they do have a route in Ginger Turmeric. Not going to really focus on this Drake. Instead, they want to open up the rift. They want to open up the map. They take down mid lane.
Genuses are spread too thin right there. They have to choose between their mid lane turret and the Drake. Take the Drake and actually lose out on 2. I hope that Drake is worth it. I hope that they can get toward that soul point, because that is a huge amount of structural damage that's just been dealt to them.
Opening up the rift. 2 mid lane towers. Now Ginger can posture forward without much issue and get more control over these minion waves. Ginger Turmeric, better play there, just saying, hey, we don't really care about this dragon. We see the gold in the mid lane. We are the cash in on that. With another cash in, Lagrange only able to get 2 more long swords, so not going to have anything too big, but doesn't need to at this stage of the game. We're still minute 30 out before our next major objective spawns, and that's going to be Baron.
He's just stacking his Manamune right now. He's completely coasting on Varus, as Sketch really was in the last game as well, going for a lot of those plays. Now Lagrange is the one with the Varus in his hands, and will have all of that same power that Sketch just showed us before. His Existence be caught out.
Ooh, Existence getting knocked up. Deadly Flourish doesn't land the snare. Onslaught of Shadows used over the wall. Parry takes down Existence. Now an opening for EGP over on this top side.
Forcing the flash up Existence, as he said too. That's the big thing right there, because he won't have that for a potential Baron fight, and definitely not for the Drake fight that's coming soon either. So EG have some opportunities to punish this. Like I was highlighting in the draft, this team composition for Ginger, it's really good on offense, as they can kill one person at a time. Once they are tasked with killing multiple people, they might not have enough in the tank to actually do that. Their cleanup fighters really aren't that potent, apart from just bursting people.
So a little bit of an issue going on while we sort that out. Just looking more into this game and how it's been played so far. As we do know, this is match point. If Ginger Turmeric take this, they take the entirety. So EGP really fighting back here. But Ginger Turmeric, I do echo what you say. They don't have much in terms of the follow-up damage. It's going to be a lot depending on their cooldowns landing, and the windows of opportunity that provides for EGP can very much be capitalized on.
They really can. They've got a solid 5v5 team fight composition too. They definitely have the edge when it comes to that. They just have to really use those windows well, and they firstly have to find them. We need to make sure that for Evil Genius's Prodigies, they can actually see when the Lux ult isn't available, if ever, and actually find DNA like they did in mid lane just a bit ago. That was a really good start to getting back into this game for sure.
These Lux ults, man, they're kind of nuts. Just how much ability haste he's been able to get is not really too much, but it's enough because that is a low cooldown naturally. So you can just pop it to clear the waves. He can pop it to just do some harassment like he's been doing onto Poor Leo, who's been popped by so many final sparks, just trying to back.
Oh man, the final spark in mid lane is such a nuisance. It's really the biggest strength of Lux as a mid laner, and there wasn't a lot of punishment that could be delivered in the early game either. So you just let him scale up, and now we have a big problem on our hands for Evil Geniuses. There's a level 13 Lux, 2 points in that ultimate, making his way toward 3 for DNA. Scary stuff. And with the Ludens too, the burst is just 100% there. So you gotta find those windows. You gotta execute on those windows and really do what Ginger Turmeric did to you in the last game.
I am starting to see some light.
Yeah, exactly. Good job.
All right, that works. Scatter the weak, kill DNA, easy peasy. That's step 1 as EGP. Not even that far behind in the grand scheme of things. Now going to look for an engage onto City Witty. Just knocking him back, push him away. This part of the rift does not belong to you. We have claimed this jungle in the name of EGP. But the life I'm really seeing, outside of Leo just getting that solo kill, is really coming from Faisal. He has been behind, but now Perry's been putting some attention towards there. Faisal's starting to come online. You have the Trinity Force completed. Vampiric Scepter picked up. If we could see more from Faisal, more investment onto Faisal over towards the top side, it is going to be a big push for EGP.
Need to see what actually happened here. Oh. Well, not much to say there. Scatter the Weak does a lot of damage. Can't do much about that one for DNA. Didn't have flash or anything. Even stasis was not enough. So, just good moves for Leo.
Faisal back to just sustaining into this lane. So much pressure applied onto him very, very early from City Witty, chasing him away from his brick time and time again. And now it's pretty much the recovery phase from him. As long as this minion wave doesn't really get threatened too much, as long as the rest of EGP are still playing as well as they are, then Faisal can come back online, control that side lane, still be that pick champion with the ultimatum.
With Faisal down a little bit, oh boy. Yeah, goody. You don't want to risk anything right there. The getting hit by the light binding is scary enough for Perry. I want to talk about Perry a little bit because he's noticing the Faisal is down a bit, and he knows that there's a lot of utility on this team from Leo and Sketch setting him up, and so he's going for a lot of damage. He actually is going for the Muramana build right there, fully finished now. As soon as he stacks it up 2 more times, this is the most damage that you can get out of the Hecarim right now without going for a Sheen item, which you're probably not going to go for if you have the the Turbo Chem tank. So this is really, really solid for Perry. His consistent DPS is definitely going to be there. From here on out, you just need to get more resilience so you can actually deal that and not die.
Dragon spawning soon. Teleport available for both top laners. More notably Faisal, who is all the way onto that top side. Tempted engage coming out from Ginger Turmeric is going to result in City Witty getting locked up by a Deadly Flourish. Doesn't take too much damage. Live.
Ginger stealing this away would be pretty big. This means that play from before that we mentioned for EG, where they were taking that dragon in response to all the mid lane pressure, they have that Drake as a win condition anymore. So that ended up less than optimal for them in retrospect, but they have that permanently in the game, so there's still time for that one to work out. EG just need to make sure they don't give over any more of these Drakes, and honestly you can't even fault them for this one either, because Faisal did get a nice hefty chunk of gold in that top lane, as those inner turrets do give you 600 local gold. It's pretty good.
It's a good way to try and get Faisal online. Just forfeit that dragon and funnel onto Faisal towards that top side. You sent Perry over there just to make sure he was going to be extra safe. Now the rotation coming out is Faisal sent bottom. Teleport still available for whatever play that does get made, but now EGP getting aggressed on as Daption has to flash away from the hook of Duo King.
I feel so bad for Daption. You just got minion blocked so hard. That was That was hard to watch, man. That one health minion gave him so much trouble. He vacates the premises with the flash. This is another inner turret for Faisal. Another 600 gold in his pocket. They could trade for inhibitor. That would be questionably worth it. It doesn't look like they're going to trade for anything at all. This is just more gold for the Camille. Nice.
Side lane control. Faisal alone with those minions, alone with those towers. In a short span, I believe it was just 2 minutes, he's taken down an inner in the top lane, an inner in the bot lane, stealing away some camps on top of that. Should have enough gold to finish off his second item.
They got the gold lead back. You can see that reflected at the top of your screen right there. Huge for Faisal. He's still got flash. He's still got that first item, and as you said, he's likely going to have enough pressure to get the second one, or gold, I should say. This is a tough ask to 1v1 existence.
Still gives it a quick kick and run. No problem there. Parry trying to do the same as he steals away the red buff from City Witty. So sad, too bad. Dragon spawning within the next 3 minutes. The rest of EGP want nothing to do with this. But Duo King is going to force their hand over the wall, looking for more. Will not take the flash over. The control of the Rift was enough, as they can just really ward out wherever they want.
These wall chunks and big blocks of terrain doing favors for Ginger Turmeric right there as they look for more picks. This Baron started up, spotted out. Evil Geniuses 100% knows this is happening. The question is, can they stop it? It's dying pretty quickly.
And 2 teleports going to be burnt. Leo, Faisal, over on the top side. Call from Ginger is just to back off, not continue. Curtain call goes up. EGP know that Ginger Turmeric have backed off. Quick clear of the mid wave with that final spark. And playing this very carefully is Ginger Turmeric.
I absolutely love that call from Ginger. They start up that Baron. They know that they can take it super quickly, and the fact that they're on vision there actually helps them out a little bit because EG panics a bit. They use both teleports, which isn't a bad decision. You want to take that team fight, but Ginger have just a really solid response to that decision. They back away in the right direction, all as a team, all coordinated. This call was very well thought out.
Looking for a play onto Existence. Scatter the Weak misses. So does the hook. Existence will get dropped. A good attempt out of Ginger, but EGP too accurate, too precise.
Duo King was super close to getting that hook. I don't know if it would have mattered all that much as Sketch forced to use that Gale Force out of position. Do not want to recall on a ward against Varus and Lux as both ultimates dodged out.
Death stance done for Faisal. Still has that Vampiric Scepter. 1 minute until Dragon spawns, and Ginger Turmeric are the ones rotating into the jungle of EGP, establishing deep vision. You can try and catch someone out in the process. You have Duo King leading the charge. One hook is all it would take. But the map completely split. The jungle completely split. On one side, Ginger. On the other, EGP.
EG have a pretty big advantage from where they're standing right now as they're closer to this Drake. The problem is there's that big scuttle crab in the middle, giving Ginger Turmeric a lot of extra vision. You don't have to be as concerned about taking this team fight, or that EGP are going to start up the dragon with the scuttle crab extra utility. So I saw Adaption, knowing this, want to look for something more here. They're looking for a pick. Instead, let's find some minions.
Trying for the pick. Dragon spawns. Mountain Drake on the map. Would be the third Drake for either squad. Teleport now being channeled. Going for the engage. It's going to be Duo King. Goes right after Parry. Depth charge onto Parry. Parry whiling away, but cannot find much. Gets death instead. But Scatter the Weak coming out from Leo. Finds his mark onto DNA. As Sketch finds his mark onto Ginger Turmeric. The ace comes through. EGP wipe Ginger.
Oh, EG Prodigies. They use that positional advantage that they had, and they take everybody down. Harry was just the distraction, diving in to just wail around about that dragon, and Ginger completely take that bait. They fully commit to the one member. The rest of Evil Genius's Prodigies completely pounce on them, full ace, including this Baron now that's being taken. Apart from any teleport shenanigans, this is claimed by Evil Geniuses.
It was a careful early from Ginger, but EGP, they're playing this well into the mid game, well into the late game. Now they have Baron. Now they have a 6K gold lead going into their favor. Make that 5K. EGP sitting pretty 30 minutes into this match.
The resilience to come back into this game is so huge for EG. You can tell just how much they want this, just how much they need to go through this game and the next one to get into the playoffs, and how displeased they were with how that last game played out as well. They really, really want to keep going on into this tournament and show the world what Evil Geniuses Prodigies is all about. This late game has been so clean from them, and they need to continue it from here.
Damage can come out so quickly from Ginger. Don't want to disrespect their composition. Due to game one. Game one was a fact right there. If you misstep, Ginger will abuse it. So I don't want to phrase this as Ginger being completely out. Their pick potential is massive. All it takes is one snare. They can culminate all that damage on the one target. They will be gone. Still EGP in the driver's seat. Nonetheless, though, with this Baron buff, Faisal in the bot lane, pushing with parry. The rest of EGP in the mid lane, getting those Baroned up minion waves rolling towards the structures of Ginger.
I like the Evil Geniuses are taking as much time as they possibly can to push in that wave so that the next wave comes a bit at the same time, so you can have some overlap there and try to pressure that lane even further. That's what Faisal's plan was from the very beginning. Next wave crashing now, but Ginger do have the response here as Duo King under fire.
Duo King getting pushed in, uses the shield. Final spark onto 3. Flash burnt from Duo King. Turn calls are opened and closed once again. Now Ginger Turmeric trying to survive the Baroned up siege of EGP.
Slow onto Sketch. There's a Devourer there, but you still don't really want to pop that one on just the Lux Snare. I say just the Lux Snare. You definitely die from that one. So they would be essential, but you want to make sure that you're playing more safe than that one. They really, you can see that they want to take this turret with everything that they have. Parry, looking for a flank, he's on a ward, doesn't really care.
Here comes Parry with the engage. Doesn't go through with it. The rest of Ginger pulling back. Very, very tight right there. Daption almost getting pulled in. Would have pulled in Sketch along with them.
Yeah.
The EGP.
Always the danger.
And yeah. You don't want to be the wrong target. The right time for Ginger Turmeric. Ginger Turmeric, they're defending. Just a rough defense coming out of them as this gold lead goes to 6K.
Aaron is out. They want to keep the siege going at the same level that they had before. They're going to have to wait 3 minutes and go for the Baron once more. Before that, EG's next priority is denying this Drake. They have given away too many. Ginger Turmeric are 1 away from the soul.
All right, here comes the ultimatum coming in from Faisal. Goes right onto City Witty. Scatter the weak. The damage onto City Witty. Massive. Half health remains.
Ooh,
Onslaught of shadows onto the backline from Parry. Goes after DNA. DNA's alive, though. Same can't be said for Lagrange as he falls. Out comes the deadly flourish. Doesn't land on the City Witty, but Existence holding the front line as a double kill comes out. EGP's mid laner Leo do the work here as Daption gives a quick lick, and it's going to finish off Existence. Leo locks down Duo King. A double kill for Daption. Only City Witty remains as EGP put on the tempo, but another trade comes in. Duo King falls.
3 members alive for Evil Geniuses Prodigies. Do they have enough time to deal any devastating damage to these structures? Faisal teleporting to the bottom lane just to make sure that City Witty is not trying to sneak away this Baron, or not Baron, the Dragon. EG, they
Spotted.
don't go for the inhibitor. They're just going for Drake.
They don't want to give up that Dragon Soul. City Witty is around there. Hookshot over the wall. Doesn't get the stun, but the snare of the Deadly Flourish found. Abyssal Voyage comes up. Doesn't get the knock up onto City Witty, but Faisal doesn't need it. One more kick, and it cleaves down City Witty. Faisal is back online. 3-1-7 after a rough early game. He farmed his way back. He got the structures. Doesn't matter if he's getting Flamed Horizon. He is still a big big part of EGP.
He definitely is at this point. For Evil Genius's Prodigies, enemy jungler is dead. Perry can go for this dragon. He's got the smite for it too. This is going to be denying away the soul. The Evil Geniuses don't have to worry about that one for a little while longer. They can again focus all of their attention to this Baron and closing out game 2 if they can manage it. They need to, again, not get picked off. That is a constant threat in this game with how Ginger have drafted this team composition. EG have to keep this at the forefront of their minds permanently.
One pick onto Leo, one pick onto Sketch could get Ginger right where they want to be. I mean, just look at Leo, look at the items. He's got Rabadon's Death Cap already completed for Leo with a 5-1-8 score line. 3 items done, as well as a stopwatch for Sketch. It's going to be a trick to take him down, but at this very moment, one of the only things you got going for you is it's 10 seconds before Baron spawns, and both of those carries don't have their flash.
Perry just took a recall as well, giving up a bit of positioning. Daption thinking about doing the same. I think this is the right call to stick around. You only have 2 more wards, but you just being in the area is going to be more beneficial. And as long as that control ward stays alive, then that's super valuable all the same. EG back onto the Rift. They know what their objective is. They know that they need to take this Baron. They know that they need to win this fight to stay in the tournament.
EGP are so good at spacing out before these fights, not allowing that long range to be utilized from Ginger. You can see right now in the flank, Faisal waiting, Perry marching forward, EGP not going for the engage just yet.
Faisal needs to be careful. He knows this. Backing away. Ginger Turmeric don't find the stray Camille. And it's mid lane instead. The Duo King is in danger.
Duo King caught out, Chain of Corruptions does not land. This is again that Lagrange has missed that ability.
Ooh, the
and
cleanse!
EGP, they're going for more. Perry hops onto DNA. Stopwatch gonna buy some time, but Sketch is waiting and willing to grab that kill as the curtain call is opened up. It's all for show as City Witty gets locked into the ultimatum. 4 down for Ginger. Ace completed. EGP take game number 2.
We're going to that game 3. We knew it. Everybody in the Twitch chat also knew. Group banger was coming to fruition. We're making it happen. Evil Genius's Prodigies take us to that game 3, and they attempt the reverse sweep against the team that knocked them to the lower part of this group to begin with.
Great display, a great return coming out of EGP. Unfortunately, we can't break that game down given the current situation, as we do have some technical difficulties. So we are going to throw it to an immediate break. The analyst desk will be able to break that down, however, so we'll be